Nietzsche. A name that crackles with electricity, a mind that still explodes with the force of a bomb. He saw the future, not with a crystal ball, but with the piercing gaze of a hawk. This wasn't fortune-telling, it was X-ray vision, right through the soul of Western civilization. What did he see? The death of God, not just the bearded man in the sky, but the death of belief itself. The bedrock of centuries crumbling, morality, meaning, purpose, all on the verge of collapse. Terrifying, yes, but Nietzsche wasn't afraid to look into the abyss. He knew something else. He knew we couldn't stay in the rubble. We couldn't live in the shadows of dead gods. We needed a new way, a new path for humanity, a way to find meaning in a meaningless world. Nietzsche called us to embrace the chaos, to become creators of our own values, to live with passion, with joy, with a resounding yes to life. This wasn't nihilism, the abyss staring back. It was something far more radical. It was the birth of a new dawn. Nietzsche saw it coming, the slow crumbling of faith, the cracks in the cathedral walls. He looked at the Enlightenment, at science, at Darwin. These weren't just intellectual movements, they were earthquakes, shaking the foundations of belief. God is dead, he famously declared. But what did he mean? Not a literal death, of course. He meant the slow poison of doubt, the erosion of certainty, the realization that our values, our morals, our very sense of self had been built on a foundation of sand. This wasn't a cause for celebration. Nietzsche wasn't a gleeful atheist, dancing on the grave of God. He knew what we were losing. The comfort of belief, the moral compass of religion, the sense of belonging to something larger than ourselves. But he also saw the danger of clinging to a dying faith, the hypocrisy, the resentment, the stifling of the human spirit. Nietzsche believed that we had to face the abyss, to confront the terrifying freedom of a world without God. Only then could we begin to create something new. The death of God left a gaping hole. Into that void rushed nihilism, the terrifying belief in nothingness, no meaning, no purpose, no inherent value to life. Just a cold, indifferent universe. Nietzsche understood the allure of nihilism. He felt its seductive pull himself, but he also knew it was a dead end, a paralyzing despair that could cripple the human spirit. His answer? The will to power. Now, this wasn't some macho, fist-pumping, conquer-the-world philosophy. It was far more subtle, far more profound. The will to power for Nietzsche was the fundamental drive of all living things. It wasn't just about domination, it was about growth, creativity, self-overcoming. It was the urge to become the best version of ourselves, to constantly strive, to evolve. This, Nietzsche believed, was the antidote to nihilism. Not by finding meaning in something external, something imposed from above, but by creating it ourselves from the inside out, by embracing the chaos of existence and shaping it with our own two hands. If God is dead, then everything is permitted, right? Not so fast. Nietzsche wasn't advocating for a descent into chaos and immorality. He believed in a different kind of morality. One not dictated by dogma or scripture, but one that sprang from the wellspring of the human spirit. He called for a revaluation of all values, a tearing down of old idols and a forging of new ones. He challenged us to question everything, to embrace our instincts, our passions, our deepest desires. This wasn't a call to selfishness or hedonism. Nietzsche believed in self-mastery, in discipline, in the pursuit of excellence, but he also believed in joy, in laughter, in the ecstatic embrace of life in all its messy, contradictory glory. His vision was of a world where individuals could create their own values, forge their own paths, and become the architects of their own meaning. This was the Übermensch, the overman, a being who had transcended the limitations of traditional morality and embraced the fullness of their own being. Nietzsche's philosophy is not for the faint of heart. It is a challenging, often uncomfortable journey into the depths of the human condition. But for those willing to take the plunge, it offers the possibility of a new dawn, a world bursting with creativity, passion, and the boundless potential of the human spirit.